Hey everyone, and welcome to the first of many videos where I take you behind the scenes on how my books were made and what was going on in my life at the time that I wrote them. So I'm going to introduce to you my first two books. I published them when I was 15 and I wrote them between the ages of 10 and 12. And these are not full-length books. In fact, they are short stories that were compiled into one book. So the first book is Amber Oak Mysteries, Volume 1, which is what I'm really known for, and then Adventures of the Young and Curious. Now, something a lot of people don't know, these two books, the stories within them were based on dreams that I had, they were based on something that somebody told me, or an expression that somebody gave me, so they all are based on true stories, as it were. And another thing is that there's very little detail in them, as I really didn't know what I was doing when I was writing them. I just kind of wrote whatever came to my head. And I wrote them both at the same time, which kind of got really interesting. If I was thinking about Amber, I'd write a story about Amber. Or if I was thinking about some other culture, I'd throw that into the Adventures of the Young and Curious. And when I wrote these stories, I was not even thinking about publishing them. That was the furthest thing from my mind. I was just trying to find a way to escape the world and create a new one, I guess you would say. So, something that most people actually definitely don't know is there is an interesting story behind the story of something within this book, and it's entitled Plagues. And it is my most prized story for the most part. When I was little, it was my most prized story because I wrote it for a movie. I know it sounds so crazy. It wasn't a really huge movie. It was something that my cousin and I came up with. I collaborated with her on an idea that I had, and she was an amateur filmmaker. So we got together, we even picked out the actors ourselves, and they were just some of her friends. It was the most exciting time of my life because the film was played in a movie theater, in an actual movie theater. So there was no red carpet, there was anything fancy, like 50 people came, but it was a moment in my life I will never forget because I thought to myself, well, you know what? If Amber Oak can't become a movie, then here you go. I have at least something. So it was really neat, and that's just one of the very few aspects of my story that have kind of strange factoids about them. But that's the first two books, and I hope you'll stay tuned for the rest.